Awakening in the town of Amur, the Light Warriors learned of a man named Golder, who was in possession of the final crystal. However, out of fear that the Light Warriors may try to steal that crystal from him, Golder chained the Enterprise to the shore. Short on options, the Light Warriors sought a woman named Delilah to acquire her floating shoes. With the help of 4 eccentric old men who thought themselves to be the Light Warriors, the true heroes acquired the magical footwear, which would allow them to cross the bottomless swamp, and gain entry into Golder's mansion as the adventure continues.
Alright, we have done everything we need to prepare, so now let us head south to meet with this Goldor guy who chained up our ship. If we go into our boat, we can't turn into the airship. And if we try to sail away, we'll actually see that it's bound to the land by a massive chain. So we need to go see this Goldor character to not only get the chain removed, but also to get his crystal that he apparently has, that he fears we are coming after. And because of what he did, we are now doing exactly that. He basically forced our hand by locking up our ship, preventing us from searching elsewhere for the crystals. So, yeah, this is really all his own fault. If not for him chaining up our ship, we might not have thought to come here, at least not right away. Ah! Chocobo Forest. Do I have anything in here that I want? No. There is the magic key, but one magic key may not be enough. Our usual strategy isn't particularly effective because we don't have our magic, so just attack! Either way, having a thief is solid for this point. We just need fighters. I mean, magic would work on these guys, and I think it also might work against the enemies in Goldor's mansion. I think it's mostly just Goldor himself that's impervious to magic. Gatai, skill up. Becoming a more skilled knight by the battle. So let's save and go in. Goldor's mansion. Unlocked by the thief's ability. Yes, the thief can unlock locked doors. That one's useless, but only if he's in the front. Which is why I have him leading at the moment. Ah, gold bears! Cha-cha-cha-cha! We strike first, so we end them before they even know what's going on. Gadia, skill up. Oh, he's becoming better at being a thief. Great. Switch you to the blood sword. What about this door? Also nothing. Yeah, if we switch to somebody else, it still just says locked. You have to do it with the thief. This is also nothing except there's a secret passage in that room. And that secret passage is actually progress. So not only does Goldor have all of his rooms locked, but he also has the actual entrance into his mansion proper hidden behind a secret passage in the wall. Gatai takes that like a champ, and then he's get going with his blood sword to get some of his strength back. 3 hits, chop chop chop. For as questionably useful as shields are in this game, having a shield plus the blood sword is a solid combination just for keeping that one character's strength up. Daryl, skill up. And in here is books, none of which I think are anything. But I'm gonna check them anyway, just to be sure. Oh, gold eagles! This Goldor guy is so obsessed with gold that even all of his monsters are gold. Or pets, or guard animals, or whatever. Chop chop chop! Haha! I'm fully restored! We have defeated so many, enemies, yet they do nothing to us. I would have rather Gatai do that so he could have got his hit points back. But whatever. Yeah, all of those books are nothing. And up ahead we have stairs, which seem like they would go deeper into the place. Try to steal. Because the other 3 will be able to take this guy out just fine. So try to steal with like your 2% chance of stealing that you have at this point. It's so dumb. They dropped the ball so hard with the Thief's steal ability. It's just so not worth it. The only good thing about his steal ability is that you can steal from the same enemy multiple times. It's not like a lot of other games where you steal from the enemy and then they have nothing to steal. You can steal from the same enemy several times, so if they do have something you want, you can try to farm that item off of them. Except for the fact that the probability of success is so low that that's not gonna work out anyway. Try to punch him back to his senses. Uh-oh. Once again, my guys trying to attack each other. Okay, see, now this is a problem situation, so I'm just gonna Lamia scale you guys, and then you get in the back row. Ah, swift dodge, I would have liked you to get hit, though. Lamia scale, confuse them. Get some stability in this situation. And then unequip these. And then while that's going on, while the horses beat themselves up, let's try to restore my confused peoples. Dang it. They're not doing much damage to each other. Okay, whatever. We just need to start attacking. A couple of them broke their confusion. And they're really not hitting each other for very much. Ah! Oh, they're confusing each other! And for some reason, my confused guys just aren't doing anything. I don't know why that happens. But it's useful. Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka! Good job! Can't confuse who's already confused. And that is why I kept the Lamia scale for emergency situations like that. Skill up! Skill up! Oh, also gold knights. I'm sensing a theme. A very obvious theme, ow. But a theme nonetheless. You fool! Gadia can also absorb health with his new Orihalcon dagger. So even though we do not have a white mage, we do have a lot of lasting power. Thanks to our health-draining weapons. Gatai skill up. Ooh, so many treasures! Shiny sword, shiny sword, shiny sword, shiny sword, shiny sword. Just all the shiny swords, they're just golden swords, they suck. They're completely garbage weapons that only exist to be sold. While also playing into the theme of Goldor being this money-obsessed guy by just having this massive collection of golden swords stored away in his back room. So on one hand, it's kind of dumb that there's just all these useless swords, but on the other hand, I feel like it works not only for getting the player money, but also getting the player money in a creative way that plays into the theme of the dungeon. Or rather, the theme of the guy who owns the dungeon. So it's a little tedious, but it's also neat. Because of its application. And sometimes that's all something needs. Sometimes something only needs to exist as more or less flavor text or context or whatever. Gatai, level up! Oh, we're getting close to more levels. But I also don't want to throw away all my capacity. Switching to a Viking for him isn't too expensive, though. But you, yeah, that's just way too much right now. Because I am going to be needing my capacity for the next area. But I feel like you can reasonably become a Viking. I don't have any equipment for you, though. So I'm actually going to put you in the back row. And it should only be a battle or two that I'll probably get into on the way. Yeah, just like one more battle and I'll level up. So it's not like I'll need my feet yet. It would have been a problem if I got back to the locked door and hadn't gained the level up yet, which I didn't consider until after I changed jobs. But I'm getting enough experience in this dungeon that that's not going to be a problem. And Azure, I want to keep Azure's magic points anyway. Plus, it would cost so much. And the next part of the game, I'm going to be needing a decent amount of capacity points. And look at that! His useless, weaponless attack from the back row actually paid off. Not only defeating an enemy, but making it so that a more powerful attack wasn't wasted on that enemy that only had less than 5 hit points left. So by that alone, yes, attacking is definitely more worth doing than defending, especially since he's in the back row, so he should be mostly safe anyway. It's also kind of weird that the gold bears cast Break to turn your characters to stone, but I assume that's another thematic choice. I assume the idea is supposed to be very similar to the Midas touch, except instead of turning, where the idea is that they're actually turning us to gold. But since there's no exclusive gold transformation spell in this game, it portrays that effect of the bears turning us to gold by instead using the break spell to turn us to stone. But I assume contextually speaking, they're supposed to be turning us to gold, not stone. At least that's how I interpret it. I'm pulling back ahead of Gatai because now that I'm a Viking, I have more vitality than him again. Azure's starting to fall behind the rest of the group, though. Daryl, skill up. Gatai, skill up. Gaudia, skill up. And now we enter the secret passage and delve deeper into the actual proper of Goldor's mansion. Ah, more nightmares. These guys are a nightmare, at least compared to everything else in this place. These are the only slightly problematic enemies in this dungeon. And only because they turn my own guys against me, not even because of their own strength. Ah, once again, attacking ourselves. We refuse to turn on our allies. It's officially canon now that when we're confused, we won't attack each other. We have too much trust and companionship to turn on each other, even through the power of magic. Hello, good sir. We have come to the crystal room. Heal up with some magic. Make sure I actually properly re-equipped everybody. Okay, let's refresh my arrows for the battle so I don't forget in the middle of the fight. And that should be good. Hello. I won't let you have my crystal. Die! Just like every other boss in this game. They say die or perish before battle begins. Hello, Goldor. Boss battle, go! Fight! 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 There's really not much else we can do, not only just with this team in general, but also because, as we were told, he supposedly has impervious magical defenses. So all we can really do is just beat the crap out of him. Ugh! You cannot get past Gotai's defenses with such meager magic. Not unless it's lightning magic. Ow! Gaudia's defenses, on the other hand, are perfectly breachable. but thankfully his daggers absorb your vitality, regaining some of his own, as does Gatai's, but Gatai's attack kinda sucked. Azure. Protect Gadia with a Cure 2. Punch, punch, draw. Stab, stab, stabby. All the stabs, all the bashes, all the cuts, and cure for good measure. Oh no! I shouldn't have announced my one weakness to him in a moment of mockery. I only have myself to blame. Cure! Do not worry, I will back you up. Thank you, Azure. Chop, chop, chop. My vitality has returned to 666. That's not foreboding at all, especially since we won. Money, stuff. Ugh, damn you! I'd rather do this than let you get your filthy hands on my crystal. Crash! He just punches the crystal and it shatters into a million pieces. Ah! You broke the crystal! I'll never give you the crystal! Hehehehe! And then he dies. Then we step forth. It's the lock to Goldor's chain. When touched, it vanished into thin air. The chain is released, but the crystal is in pieces. What will we do? How do we know that the chain was released? All we know is that the key disappeared when we touched it. How does that give us context for the chain being released? Alright, we did it! The crystal was destroyed, so we're a bit unsure what to do now. But at least our ship has been released from its bondage, so now we can press onward and figure out our next course of action from there. But first we have to get out of this dang mansion. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, without casting the exit spell so I can get more experience points and capacity and money as I go. Because I'm not in a situation where I need to desperately cast exit. We still have plenty of strength remaining, so we might as well utilize it. I'm just going to switch Gatai to do swords so I can get out of here quicker. Since we're done here, and it's a short dungeon to get out of, I no longer really need him to be conserving his hit points by taking less damage. So I'm just going to have him swing 2 swords until we get back to town. Just so we can get back to town a little bit quicker. And just like with the exit spell, I'm also not going to use a chocobo again, so I can walk back and utilize that to my long-term advantage. Whatever. That's just how I like to play these older games. I prefer to, well, I've said it before plenty of times, but I prefer to get my grinding and such done through the natural progression of the game, rather than avoiding opportunities to do that by casting spells like Exit or using Transportation that avoids battles, only to then later have to go out of my way, spending time walking in circles to grind, because I didn't get the grinding done through the game's natural progression. Got a skill up. So we can now use our airship, but we can also come here to get some more information. That's not more information, but we could talk to the people and they'll say some stuff. Go see Salonia. It's a very large walled city. Yes, that is our next destination. There's a huge city called Salonia somewhere. I've heard that they have a really fast airship. Okay, I already have an airship, but a faster one would be good. Does anybody else have use new information as well? Let's see. Because now that we have our airship fixed, it's a matter of figuring out where to go next. Well, your ship can fly, and that involves talking to people and trying to get some form of direction instead of just boarding our ship and flying around aimlessly until we hopefully find something. Okay, so we've got some direction. We were told to consider going to Salonia, which is a large walled city somewhere. So let us venture forth back into the air. I'm gonna go test something real quick. Okay, that didn't work. I just wanted to see if I could do that now and get a couple of the fangs out of my inventory. But apparently you can't do that, I guess, until you have all 4 of them. Okay, so we need to go north. There are a couple other towns and such that we can visit, but for the time being, I'm just gonna go straight to Salonia. I'll take care of the other... I'll go to the other towns and do that stuff after I've done Salonia. Like this town. I could go there, but I'm not concerned with that. Here we are, Salonia, the big walled city. We go here and we're being shot! And our ship blows up. Ouch! Hello? For some reason, we have to fight our allies. Charge! The side that loses will be executed. I think you guys say the same thing, yeah. So, we were just shot down, and we fell into this huge battlefield where these soldiers are fighting each other. I guess our airship just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and got caught in the crossfire. By order of the king, Salonia Castle is closed. No one can enter the castle. Go away! Okay, so we are now without an airship, and we are stuck in Salonia. So the only thing to do now is to explore this town. Or city would be a much better term for this place. So let's do that.